Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Alright, that's it for me. Let's get started. He says, immediately killing all momentum by taking a sip of his drink. Welcome back. Back at it again, doing HTML style layouts with Godot and all that stuff. I actually had a really weird idea. So because like all this code is just it's just a text layout, right? Like there's no assets bundled in, although you could try to bundle in assets. I would need to think about how you would do that, or you would just bundle assets normally, right? So like you could have like a centralized kind of server that serves GUI layouts that you access via a Godot application, and then that's just kind of like a UI thingy. So it's like a Godot specific like internet, maybe intranet, if you will. Because the kind of the cool thing that I've been working on is that you can like actually bundle in scripts and stuff. So you have like the test script here, the built-in script, which is inline and all that. I thought that would be, it came to me in a dream, if you will. But let's see. I think we need to do a few things. We need to do like a pre-pass. So basically run through every single node, like identify all the scripts and basically hoist them. So what I'm kind of thinking about is like, what if you have a situation like this? So you have a script. I'll give it a name just so we have something to identify it. Like should hoist. That's what we'll call it, I guess. We don't really need like a text GD script part, but could be cool. And then, you know, scripts, etc. So do like an extends reference. Actually, because in Godot, all scripts extend reference unless you specify otherwise. And actually, I'm seeing here, I got some stars. Oh, baby. I think this one has the potential to be a real banger, if you will. So Godot, GUI, markup, language, markup language, lang, markup. One of these. Godot markup language. Look at that. But here we go. So everything extends. Reference by default. Let's do func. Gives true. Oop. And I think something I'm kind of curious about is whether or not I can just take this out. So because it's like a CSS parser, what if I just like I don't need to have this, right? Like I could just do it like that without the preceding dash dash. You could do something like that. I think that would be a lot more, I don't know, reasonable, shall we say? Yeah, I think the built-in CSS parser I'm going to have to modify pretty heavily. Because I also was thinking, like for the style, right? The built-in CSS parser generates a theme per class. So if you don't have a class attached to your, you know, elements or whatever, it just goes into the default class. But see, button test will actually generate a separate theme under the name test. But what I'm thinking is I could modify it so it's, you know, for everything that is like theme related, it will put it into a theme, so a button, whatever. And then everything else, it will be placed into a separate resource, right? That can be applied to all elements afterwards. So something like anchor full rect. If I were to do that for a button, then for all just normal buttons, it would be anchor full rect, unless you have a class tag attached to it. So like class whatever, or ID whatever, right? I think that could be kind of cool, although I think if I want that to work, I need to have like specific or explicit steps for parsing. I need to rethink the entire structure, I think. So here's GDML. It's really just like a big init function. It's kind of weird. Actually not a huge fan of it. So what I'm gonna do is just take all this out. Or we can just change the name, right? So there is no such thing as output. It just kind of exists in the function. So we'll call this like generate. This will return some sort of control, which will be the output that you see above. So bar output. One of these. Context path. Hold on, we got a few errors. Non-void function. So return output. Output. And we'll return output. Okay, so then the context path. Let me see. Yeah, I guess we can just make it stateless. That's okay. Or what we can do is func init. And this will take a context path. The context path. Something like that. So now, this is simplified. I guess we do need to globalize it, so we might as well just do this. Remove that step. Oops. Yeah, one of these. I think I've done this. No, I've done this correctly. So then we go back to the everything thingy. Remove this thing. This is just the context path. So everything afterwards will be relative, more or less, to that context path. So you can always do something like, there's a few ways that you can make this work. So there's like GDML generate. So this is a full path, more or less. Or you can do something like this. So I believe this should still work. Ooh, okay, hold on. I made a mistake. Oh, I see. I've done this in the opposite order that I should have. Oh, this is backwards. Give me another shot. Ooh, Non-existent function add one in base reference. That's fair. Parameter p child is null. Oh, I see. It's because it errored out because I gave this a thing. Let's just give this a comment. We don't want to process any comments. Yeah, there we go. So that makes more sense, I think. So you don't want to do it just based on, you know, the new initialization thingy and then check the output. I think that's pretty weird. I think what you would generally want to do is hold on to a GDML instance for your given context. So as long as you are in like the context, you can, you know, you can access paths from there, something like that. So we can have an everything XML, then you can have like a helper.xml, etc., etc. And also, I wonder if GDML is already like, is GDML already a, oh baby. It's not super. Yeah, okay, cool. It's more or less like an unused namespace. That's good. So you can see here, oh geez. That we're able to do stuff like this. Oh, hello, Bumdy. Hello, hello. Check this out. Look at that. Look how cool that is. So based off of this syntax here, so I've changed it. I'm still thinking about how to do like strict typing. So for some of these, like you can see like custom colors, font color. So that's for the button margin test. The name is margin test in the editor, or I guess as the node. And then we can set custom color, font color, which is the style thingy, using this. So you can pass in color n, which takes a string input. Or for hello label, we can also just pass in color, you know, this hex code. So what I'm thinking though, I don't like this syntax, which is to say it's this syntax here. I'm not sure what to do about it though. Like, because I already have a colon, because that's how you parse HTML. So what else could I have? I was briefly considering like I could try to do something like this. And then I would just need to strip out all the spaces. So like this is kind of like C style syntax for casting to a specific thing. I have some ideas. All right, let's hear your ideas. What I'm going to be doing today is I need to hoist all the scripts, because check this out. If we check the nodes, look at this. We have instances, and then these are the actual script objects. Look at that. So we are able to associate these scripts that I just kind of create on the fly, and they're associated with the parent GDML node element thingy. Create color palette resource and pass it along that you can import in HTML, like array of colors or dictionary. What would the color palette resource be used for? Isn't that just what that's a style, isn't that? Isn't that just what a style is? Like I don't know how to. Yeah, isn't that just what a style is though? Color palette. So like don't worry, I'm not manually defining every single color. It is possible to apply a theme like this, and then everything is self-contained. me think. I think I like this syntax more, even though it's, well, no, I think we're just gonna go with this syntax. This one's easy to parse. This one's easy to parse. Although I do need to make sure to replace all of the spaces. This is not script handler, this is style handler. So we'll split on this, and then we also need to make sure to, so we'll strip edges, and then we also want to replace all spaces. So replace space with nothing. So we strip them. Back? What do you mean back? I have a back and also a front. Script handler. Yeah, this is just a script. You see, perfect. I missed what you said. No, so I don't really understand what you would use a color palette for, since you're already able to define a style sheet here. So like if you already have the style sheet, how would you apply a color palette? I guess I don't understand what it's supposed to be used for. Let's see, these aren't really useful, although I guess this could be kind of cool. So if you have a different type, so it's not necessarily like always going to be text GD scripts. I suppose you could try to pass in like GD scripts bytecode as well, and then load that. I don't know. I'm gonna take this out for now though, because I don't read that at all. But here, let me think. Current root add instance, where add instance is fancy syntax for adding a thing. So if it's a script, we create the new script. And then if it's a node, if the result of the script is a node, then we will add it as a child. If it's a pack-scene, then we'll instance it, blah, blah. And then we'll add it to the list of instances that we have associated with this. I think I do need to do a forward or a pre-pass. I need to stop saying forward pass. I need to do a pre-pass to find all the scripts, or at least reorganize all the scripts so we just kind of pretend we're moving them to the top. What I'm imagining is probably different from yours. You can do a lot of things in this library. So yeah, like I don't understand how, I guess I don't understand what you're proposing. Like I understand that you're talking about passing a color palette to it, but I don't know how you would apply the color palette. If you're doing this for your use case especially. Yeah, well, I mean, even for like HTML, you cannot just pass a color palette. You need a way to apply it to everything. Like, are you suggesting an alternative to the like defining a style or a CSS style? Yeah, inquiring minds are inquiring. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, I guess, like, you know, the classic open source answer to everything, you know, pull requests are welcome. Pull requests welcome. You know, it's not too hard to just add like an additional thing like elements, or I guess just basically like color palette, one of these, and then just somehow apply it here. So you would have to construct your own theme from that. Yeah, but what I need to do right now is start thinking about how I'm going to hoist this, because right now, right, this makes sense, is you put all your script at the top, they all get parsed, and then once we start parsing like the buttons and stuff, so like you can see that this button is connect pressed, callback on pressed, and I actually have something to handle that now. So this is, what is it called? Control roots. So control root. So we can find and connect, find and disconnect. So we'll look inside every single script, look for, oh, I guess it's not signal, it needs to be has method, I suppose. So it has callback name. Oh, yeah, okay. I messed this up. Hold on, for I and instances value. So we're looking for if it has a method, not the signal. My bad. Yeah, so one of the problems that I realized once I was starting to implement this part is that since we process this linearly, if you are referring to a function in a script tag that's defined below your current elements, like that's technically bad practice, but that's never stopped people before. Yeah, then it will fail because it's currently not hoisted. So I need to hoist every single script to the top, or at least pre-pass, do a pre-pass on every single element. Probably like build like yet another tree. So build like 2 trees essentially. And figure it out from there. I think you need a signal binding handler like manager. I mean that's what this is, right? That's not like the problem isn't like the signal binding part. The problem is the fact that scripts aren't defined beforehand, right? When I parse it through top to bottom. So in a normal programming language, what happens is that the script, or at least in HTML, right? What happens is every single script is parsed first, and then it starts parsing the actual HTML. So that's what I need to do. Yeah, that's called hoisting. That's the word I keep using that you might not be familiar with. I'm hoisting it. I need to hoist it. Otherwise, like technically this would fail. So if we change this to gives true, that would fail. So I'm thinking about it. I think this is already like good enough, right? So we look for instances, contains every single script instance. So we create a new instance, so a new reference, and then we just kind of hang on to it. So that's what that is. So we need to check if I has method callback name. So we're looking for callback name. So if it does have the callback, and then we need to check if node is connected, then it needs to be I callback name. Yeah, there we go. So then node connect I. Yeah, I got this like super backwards for some reason. You know, more like Angular and play scripts are more niche approach feels like. Well, I mean that is just like JavaScript, right? Like in JavaScript you can also write in place scripts. So it's not, that's one of my favorite parts about JavaScript is like if you don't want to bundle in a separate file, you don't have to. So for example, we can go to my personal website, check this out. Ignore most of it since I still need to update. I'll still need to update it, but if you look at the source, you can see here that I actually bundle in the script like this. I don't know how visible that is, but the script is just in line. It's also not using Angular, but I like doing it like this. For example, your stack and state must handle component states. Don't know, does it have states? It does not have states. It's not stateful. It's completely stateless. Although I have ideas on how to make it stateful. So I think if you wanted things to handle state, you would need to I think you would need to like just bundle in a script. So you could do something like I suppose you would need to do something like source, right? So if I wanted my button to have like a special kind of handler attached to it, you would do like button source, and then either define a name, so built-in scripts, or a file, and that file will need to exist on the current context path. Yeah, I think that's what you would have to do if you wanted things to be stateful. Otherwise, everything is stateless by default. Because I don't know how you would define state. I don't know how you would define state. Like this is another idea I had, is like, what if you just had like a script, and then you can define like a type, which is just like code basically, where it's not code, but I don't know. Like, let me just like start typing out what I was envisioning. So what if you had like a script that's just like, you know, print hello, right? That's improper GD script, but in JavaScript that's technically correct, right? So if you wanted to handle state somehow, that's how you would handle it, maybe. Is like this is code that would be, or I guess scripts, and then you would define function, and it must be a built-in function. For example, every app has example project you're from. Yeah, I'm familiar with app example projects. This is, I guess main. That's what I'm kind of envisioning. So you would just have a script that's attached to your root node directly, and then always just kinds of runs. I don't know. That's not. I don't know. I gotta think about that. But it's more similar to JavaScript in that regard. It's not object-oriented, shall we say, where it's not properly encapsulated. Press button to change the text, click times 5, shows the bind button action to state. How many do that with signals? I don't think I need signals, maybe. Maybe I do. I think I still need to figure out hoisting first, but it's not too hard, right? I think you would just need the track state externally using one of the scripts. So one of these scripts, like, of course, since it's like a reference or whatever, or like built-in script, what we can do is change this into a node, right? And so we can just have like an actual process function. So if you wanted to do something like that, right? Like that would be okay. And then based on like the ready function, what we could do, right? So we could have like a ready function, and then every single script will have access to, is it get meta? It'll have access to this, the parents, which is the GDML class as a whole. I think that's something I would do. For example, how onPress knows where the signal is fired from. Oh, it absolutely does not. But that, I mean, that's the problem, right? Is even in Godot, you don't know where the signal is fired from. or even in, like, you can try to track the signal, but I mean that it's a different way of programming, right? It's one-way binding, not two-way. Yeah, no, like you can, there are several ways as long as you have access to everything. So like you can do incoming connections. So you can know about the connections as long as you have direct access to the node. So in what I was suggesting is that I could, you know, I could have like some sort of script, like another built-in script here. We could call it like, you know, button script. So this is an inline script, something like that. So extends button, and then we can like attach this to like we could attach this to another button. Button source, and then we can say it's just the button scripts. All right, I'm breaking a bunch of things, by the way. It's not, the signal manager can handle that, like a pub sub, maybe pub sub. No, I don't think we need a pub sub. That's way too complicated, right? Like even in JavaScript, one of the things is if you have clashing namespaces, then you need to namespace things. Like it's not my problem, essentially. Like Godot does not have Godot also does not provide the facilities to handle that, right? If you have multiple same methods in the same namespace. I'm pretty sure how Godot or how JavaScript handles it is if it just doesn't work, like you must provide a namespace. Whereas in my case, I mean, it's not my problem. We'll just select one at random. Essentially, if you have, you know, test script implements add one, built-in script also implements add one, which one do we use? I don't know how to namespace that, because there's no facility for namespacing in Godot, right? So if you intentionally like break it, that's not my fault. You know, if you intentionally use like really bad, you know, programming practice, you know, we're all adults here. If you want to shoot yourself in the foot, that's not my problem. That's your problem. All I can do is say like, you know, don't do that. But if you still want to go ahead with it, you know, be my guest. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe how it could work. How it could work is I could, when I'm processing the callback, I could try to define a namespace. So everything is based off of either the like the file name or like the name that you define in the script. So for example, this callback, we could call it like built-in script on pressed, and that would be the namespace. And that's how you would be able to track it. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Don't you get the callback from when you add the no caller and the passed array? What do you mean passed array? Add the no caller and passed array? Which one? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Let me see. What I need to do is I need to have like read layout. So we'll have like when you connect signals, you can add parameters in an array. That's yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I have code to handle that. So you can pass in arguments. Yeah. Oh, you actually pass in the node caller in the arguments? I guess you can do that, yeah. In several of my projects, I've started to do that as well, but I don't know why I should do that. So you get a two-way binding. I don't need a two-way binding. Yeah, actually, for the rewrite for OpenC face, that's actually how every single configuration thing works, is that it works via two-way binding like that. Yeah. Although the big problem with doing a two-way binding in that fashion, what happens is that you actually get value key, not key value, from the binding. I don't remember where I need to check. It's somewhere. It's one of the things. I don't remember which way it's bound. Is it here? Is it in entities? No, it's in model, isn't it? Model. Ooh, did I just absolutely mess something up? Where is it? It's Puppet. Extensions. Puppet trait. Yeah, wait. This is wrong. I need to change that as well. There's so many things I need to fix. But the fact of the matter is that the arguments that you pass during connection are passed after the arguments passed from emit signal. Which means yeah, I guess I could do that, but I'm not going to do that. Let me see. I need to split this up just for my own sanity. So func, we need to do like a pre-pass, essentially. So pre-pass, this will give me back a... Well, pre-pass, this will take a layout. So layout. And we'll return a layout afterwards. Then reader, read node. Okay, let me see. So input reader, we create a reader, we need to read the path, and we only need the reader for this one instance. So we'll do bum bum. We need to have an inputs. So some sort of input. Input is just a string. If is path. Is path boolean. Oh, okay, hold on. Maybe this is harder to hoist than or harder to split out than I thought. So I could pass everything in, I suppose. So we only ever process this thing. So reader is some sort of GDML reader. Let's actually slap that up here. Const reader is equal to preload. One of these, and then we'll just call new on it. How nice. So this is... It's weird how XML is so bad to write and read. Feels like you can use CSV in the same manner. Well, I don't know. I feel like XML, HTML... I mean, HTML is actually XML, by the way. They're not hard to read. It's just kind of verbose. It's kind of annoying to write for sure. CSV, no, CSV you can't. CSV you must have the same you must have the proper column amount, or at least account for missing columns in your data, which is very annoying to do. Yeah, I don't see how you would use CSV to define a node layout, because you're limited by the amount of columns you have defined in CSV. Yeah, I don't see a good way of using CSV to do layouts. It doesn't make any sense. Unless your layout is entirely grid-based, in which case maybe it does make sense. Really, just use common put like data. So it's data. Well, so if you've ever done any CSV parsing, like your CSV file must have your first column, or no, your first row in a CSV file is how many columns you have. You cannot add more columns in every other row than your first defined one. Otherwise, it's kind of undefined behavior, right? CSV is extremely limited, which is why people like to use it, is that people know, it's obvious how many columns you have, right? You cannot have more columns of this. Some CSV parsers account for empty columns, but you cannot have more columns than are originally defined at the very top of the file. Call it my CSV attribute discard. Then I need to create my own CSV parser. That's gross. And anyways, then it's not really CSV anymore, right? And you lose a lot of the guarantees that CSV gives you. So I don't know. And then it's also still grid-based. I don't know why you would want to do something grid-based. Data equals reader read node. Data is complete. Then we'll break. It's just, that's a thing, just talking irrelevantly. Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to implement a CSV reader, but I think in a lot of cases, it's just not worth it to define your own stuff. It's very strange. Yeah, I think HTML, or HTML, XML gets a lot of hate for being really verbose, but at the same time, it's also like really nice that it's super verbose, because there's no assumptions, right? You don't have to assume like what did they mean in this one instance, you know. You know, it's obvious, usually. Oh, and then this actually doesn't need to be and these, because layout is already this. So we can actually rip out all of this. We can just pass the layout as well. So we'll do pre-pass with the layout and the reader. This thing, I like Markdown more. We'll see Markdown. It's the same like arguments with like JSON versus YAML, right? I think YAML is easier to write, but it's also a lot less structured, and it's also way harder to parse. So you're, and also when the file gets really long, it also gets harder to read. So you're trading like readability, writability versus like, you know, parsability and correctness. So I mean that's why XML and HTML is really nice. It's because it's unambiguous. You know, it's also like one of the problems I kind of have with Godot sometimes. It's like, what is this passed by value or is this passed by reference? I don't know. Whereas in a language like Rust or C or whatever, like, you know, you're passing by value, parsing by reference, because, you know, it's a pointer. It's either a pointer or it's not a pointer. One of those things, right? Please. This happens sometimes. I wonder. Yeah, this happens sometimes. Oh, it's because of this, because I put this back. put this back. Take these out. Okay. Okay. So we're slowly cleaning this up. We're very slowly cleaning it up. Very slowly cleaning it up. We can have this return a layout because this is the first time we use the layout. So layout var layout is equal to layout new. Then we'll just return the layout afterwards. One of these. Var layout prepass. One of these. I think in layouts I need to do, yeah, I need to do the hoisting in layouts. So we can do like func hoist scripts. So what are we going to do when we're hoisting? So I know which things are scripts. Okay. Okay. So identify orphans, and then in identify orphans, we can also start identifying all the GDML headers at the same time. So I guess this is not like identify orphans. Like this is just like a scan. So scan all, it's like scan tags almost, or process tags. Right. So this is not like identify orphans per se. It's more of like a like these are the, yeah, okay. I see. So we can have var orphan pointers. We can have var GDML pointers. And then we can have script pointers. And so scripts must be hoisted. So identify orphans, that's more like identify, I don't know. This is like I just identify tags, right? Identify tags. It doesn't return anything. Change this to identify tags. So we'll do layout, identify tags. We could probably just do this in one big process step, but I'm not going to do that. For now, just so I have kind of like explicit things. Okay. I have explicit steps, more or less. So it's easy for me to tell what the heck I'm doing. So now we have orphan pointers. We don't need to return it because we're just sending it. But here, what we want to do is for every single tag that we come across, we want to check the tag type. Oh, and then that needs to come from somewhere else. Okay, hold on. Let me think. All right, this has an error because we've started to change things. We need to identify every single GDML pointer and every single script pointer. So the GDML pointer is more just like a way to identify positions. Script pointers are more important because that's what we'll be moving them based off of that logic. Oh, hello, Wolfpack system. How are you? Have you figured out your essentially open world logic yet? Hopefully my examples have helped you. The examples I've pasted in Discord are not super comprehensive, but hopefully that they're at least understandable. I haven't. That's fair enough. I think you do need to maybe do some supplemental reading first. So like maybe like read up of how like Minecraft does their chunking. So like you're almost never going to be able to get anything that's directly copy and pastable, especially once you start to get in more complicated stuff. But you can get a handle on how things logically should flow. And then after that, then you just need to, start writing code that matches the logic. Because code is just logic at the end of the day, right? Let me see. Right. Yeah. So class tag. Okay, so I need to hold on to the tags here. So we have several tag types. All right, I need to break this out into something different. This is starting to turn into its own kind of beast. I think something that I dislike about Godot more and more, the more I work with it, is the fact that Godot doesn't have namespaced types. So every single class that you use is kind of global. Like it's just globally accessible, which is very painful. Const tag types or const tag. We'll just do it like in the same file, right? So we'll have GDML, lowercase GDML, script, and style. And then we'll just need to grab this, import this into here. Const tags is equal to preload this thing. So preload is a lot of Godot magic. It's not really portable to like any other language, but that's because, GD script is really built into the language or built into the engine. But yeah, what I'm writing, by the way, is I'm writing a UI system, so you can write your entire UI via XML file. It's like HTML style. So by the way, HTML is just XML, just with a few different features. So I'm pretty sure you can take any HTML file that you see on any website. Yeah, it's just based off of this first header, which is doc type, and that's how you. Most parsers know like whether or not they're parsing XML or HTML. That's something I should probably actually implement myself. It's like, okay, this is like the C data header. So this is actually a GDML file. So it knows how to parse it. But that's for later. Some tags. So we'll preload this as like new var tags, take out elements, and then fix all the errors that arise from that. Tags. All right, cool. I'm pretty sure like this is still kind of broken. Maybe. Let's give it a try. Oh no, it totally works. It's beautiful. Look at that. So, yeah. I think that the cool part is that if you notice here that there's actually nothing in my scene tree that has any of these elements, but based off of this XML file, we're running some logic. So you can see that we've printed out test and 3. That's actually kind of hard-coded in, so let's ignore that for now. But also we have the VBox container with 1, 2, and then there's an inner VBox container that's kind of hard to tell. So 1, 2, inner, hello, using button script 3, and then just random button here, hello. Yeah. If you need to look at, no, I don't want to look at it. Absolutely not. No. At the most, I'll do like clean room reverse engineering. So if you want to look at it and then tell me about how it works, I guess that's okay, because that is legally distinct. But I don't really want to, I don't want to plagiarize anyone else's code. Just plug in API? Yeah, maybe later. I don't really need a plugin API. I mean, okay, I guess I can look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. What's so fancy about this? Get import options. I still don't really understand. It has a parser. They parse it, parse the source, then they save it? Question mark? I don't know. Editor import plugin. Does it just import it in? I don't really understand what it's supposed to do. What does an editor import plugin do? Parses custom file. Registers a custom resource importer. How do you define like the linter though? I don't know. I guess it just imports anyways. I guess it just imports and then, yeah, I guess it just highlights it. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I suppose I can do that. That'll be for later though. You don't lint it? Well, I guess it's okay. I guess their code is also not linted then. Plugin parser handles it. Well, yeah, but then you don't get any highlighting, right? Or I guess the parser would have to send some sort of message to the editor saying that there's an error during parsing. That sounds tough. I don't want to do that. That's not my problem. If someone else wants to make that, you know, all the more power to them. But I don't want to do like a pre-parse and like, oh, like this is wrong. That sounds painful. You know, it's just HTML. So as long as you know, dot all your I's, cross all your T's, button everything up as best you can, I don't care. That's not my problem anymore. Tags is equal to preload, whatever the heck this is. Oh, geez. Tags. I mean, just FYI, you parse when you import it to the editor. Yeah, but like, then I need to also generate an error, right? But I don't have that ability to do that. I don't I don't have the ability to get the line unless I write my own parser, which I don't really feel like doing. I guess I could, because it's not hard to parse XML, but there are several like weird things. So like, I think like the most obvious part is that you just need to look for like these blocks. So, you know, open carets, close carets. and then the first unbroken string is the tag name. But then after that, it's like parsing is kind of tough. Because you can't... I guess you can kind of guarantee certain things like... Actually, I don't know what guarantees you have. I actually don't know what guarantees you... You would need to, you know... So given this is your S expression when you're parsing, you know, you get the VBox container, sure, skip the space, you know, you parse all characters, all valid characters here, so you parse style. There could be a space, there may not be a space in between the equals. That's tough. But then you look for the next equal sign, and if there's not, then that's an error. But then if there is an equal sign, then you take whatever's after that. So it must be in quotation marks associated with that previous symbol. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Like, it's not like a standard like Lisp S expression, right? Where you can have several guarantees about what's going to be in it. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you're not believing me when I said that I've written a parser before. So like here's this thing. I wrote this. This is GD Lisp. I wrote a Lisp with GD scripts. I know. I understand how to parse, but it's hard. It's hard. It's very, very hard. And especially like throwing errors is very hard as well. So like that's why I'm not wanting to do it. It's because it's difficult. So tags. So let's see if Yeah, you done it? Yeah. I've done it for sure. For sure. If close tag name is equal to tags dot GDML, then we'll want to grab the current position of the tag pointer, which we do have GDML pointers. Oh, okay. So I think I need like a separate object to track that as well, because I need to... Okay, hold on. Can't imagine writing this Lisp thing. Lisp is really easy, right? Lisp is very easy to parse. That's parsing Lisp, not a problem. Easy, right? So Lisp is just like hello. You ignore, you know, white space pretty much. So you can do like hello. Or I guess like it's like print hello. Like, so if you do like print hello, which I think should work in GD Lisp REPL, by the way, because that's one of the built-ins I defined. Yeah, I mean, that's easy. So you look for the S expression, or you look for open and close parentheses, and that's your S expression. Then you do, you know, print hello. It prints it to the console. So if I open up the console, you can see that it's printed hello. How nice. Pretty easy. Because everything is just separated. Everything is space delimited. So I'm pretty sure if I did... Hold on. I think if you just do this as one line, it actually breaks. Because that's not actually a valid Lisp. Yeah. Isn't there cases that it's functional or no case? What do you mean it's functional? Like this is actually a fully functional programming language, by the way. That no one really cares about, but I thought it was cool. But the syntax is very well defined, whereas in XML and HTML, basically XML, right? This syntax here is very difficult to parse. Or it's not very difficult, but it's more difficult than Lisp, which requires just spaces. But yeah, there are no cases where, you know, print no space quotation mark hello end quotation mark is functional, because that's not a valid symbol. Because that's just never a valid symbol, right? You cannot have quotation marks in your symbol. I mean, parsing doesn't handle. It does, actually. It does, by the way. It does, by the way. If you look at the syntax somewhere, it does allow for functions. I don't know where the syntax is, but is it sanity test? Test simple. Test lambda? Yeah, test a lambda. Yeah, there we go. So if you were to run this in the REPL, which is just, I guess you can, yeah, you can redefine a built-in, but that's not something you usually want to do. Oh, there's no way to paste. There's no way to paste. So define x, which is a lambda that takes in x, y, which then we define a local variable z, which is equal to x plus y. We print z, and then just return z. I forget where we were, so we'll just copy this directly. So then we can do x1, 1. It's beautiful, look at that. I've defined a function, aka a lambda. So like, don't worry. It's fully functional as a language. It's beautiful. Yeah, oh no. Tim is actually way smarter than we thought he was. Oh no. It's just because I work on weird things that no one else works on that it appears that I'm dumb. But actually, I mean, I still might be dumb, but it's just because I'm doing things that no one else does. Because no one else is dumb enough to do these. To do these things and the other things. Class tuple. So I failed in school, yep. Well, hey, I didn't fail in school. I was like an aggressively average student. Alright, so pointer tuple, this is just int 1, int -1. Yeah, no, I'm aggressively average at pretty much everything except, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm very good at English, very good at writing, and was very good at programming. It was at math that I was very bad at, which is why if you may have noticed, I struggle at, I tend to struggle at algorithms and stuff. But when it comes to just straight logic, I'm not too bad. Yeah, it's just that like a lot of these programming streams, I don't do things other people do. Like, I haven't really seen too many people. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone work on like a VTuber program on stream. Mostly because it's a lot of like trial and error to get something like this working. Or it's like I've never watched anyone write a programming language in GD scripts. I think JavaScript is pretty popular, but then there's a lot of libraries out there that help you with parsing and stuff. Or even in like Rust, right? You have a lot of libraries out there that help you with parsing and stuff. But, you know, as it turns out, when you have to roll your own computer science libraries, it's very difficult. Whereas, you know, JavaScript, or Python. What's the Python one called? I can't even forget. I forget what it's called, but there's like a very popular Python parsing library that people use. Everyone uses for parsing nowadays, even for JavaScript, because it just outputs a list of symbols, and then you can parse that, and it's just a lot easier to parse as an intermediate step. But no, I implemented my own parser and tokenizer. Pointer tuple, func, and nits, PA, PB. A is equal to PA, B is equal to PB. Then a Python parsing sounds slow. It is slow, but if you're just like compiling, it doesn't really matter, right? As long as you're not actually executing the Python, then it's okay. If you're just compiling, then, you know, who cares? Oh, you can't do this, by the way. Okay. Let's do var GDML A, var GDML B. So that's the close tag. So we don't want to create the tuple just yet. So we'll set GDML B is equal to the current tag pointer. And then if we find a valid open tag that matches tags GDML. Oh, and then we also need to check this. So the close tag does need to be a close tag. So that's your B tag. So the idea is that you'll use this in a VTuber app. Oh yeah, for sure. That's the idea, right? Is that I replace this with basically this HTML style layout, because everything is already like dynamically generated. So it just makes it easier to update pretty much and work with, etc., etc. At least in my opinion. Maybe not. Maybe this is just a bad idea and I should pivot back to doing everything hand placed, but it makes it hard to, you know, add new features as well. Whereas I think if I'm able to lay this out, or if I'm able to design this in such a way that it's, you know, not hard-coded. The idea is I don't hard-code it like anything, right? The only things that are hard-coded, like currently in the VTuber app, the only things that are hard-coded is like the configuration management. That's pretty much it, right? Everything else is just defined by the runner. So like in this case, this is the current runner, but you know, what I've defined in the current iteration is that anything can be a runner as long as you just define it as a runner. Learning is a good idea either way, but handling binding is another thing. Well, I mean, that's how this works, right? Like this also is not bound to the app. Like the UI is actually completely separate. It only communicates via signals. So like, I think that's okay. Like the entire thing is signal based, so whatever. GDMLA does not equal -1, and GDMLB does not equal -1. Then GDML pointers append, what did I call it? Pointer tuple. Pointer tuple new GDML-A, GDML-B. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of my point, right? Is that I'm doing things that no one else really does, which is why like it a lot of the, I guess, the suggestions I get are like, I guess like they don't apply in my case because I've already handled them. They've already been handled. Don't worry, for the majority of cases, because that's how I like to design my software. Is that it's flexible. You can take bits and pieces out. You can put bits and pieces back in, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Let's see. Here, I think close tag. Okay, so I also need to check close tags and open tags for if it's a script or not. Close tag name is equal to tags script. So I guess it's just like var. This is kind of wasteful. Script A is equal to -1 var script B int is equal to -1. Script B is equal to tag pointer open tag name is equal to tags script. Script A is equal to I. If script A is not equal to -1 and script B is not equal to negative. Oh, actually, hold on. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Actually, how do I hoist this? Now I'm looking at the logic again. Hold on. Oh. Okay, so this way I can capture... There's actually two places where I need to capture script tags. So it's either in close tag is open, because that will be... In this instance, this script tag up here, script source test script open close, that will be an orphan tag, but it'll also be a script tag, which means I need to handle that up here. Oh, that's tough. So we can do is orphan, I suppose. So is orphan bool false. Wait. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Or I can do something like args, right? So it's like args A, B. Yeah, that's fine. I can do something like args. So args, which is a dictionary, and then we'll do args get A, which is equal to -1. Args get B defaults to -1, and then we can do var is orphan false. So is orphan. I guess this isn't really a tuple anymore, huh? This is like pointer data. Pointer. I guess pointer pair. Pointer data. Yeah. Because it's not, that's not a tuple anymore. That's a thruple? Question mark. Args get is orphan. One of these. Then pointer data. This is not pointer data. New. So we'll pass in one of these. So this will be A, which is equal to GDML A, B, GDML B, and then L if script A is equal to -1 and script B is not equal to -1, then we'll do script pointers append pointer data. And I could just pass in the dictionary like that and handle it, but I don't know. I think I've come back around to doing all this kind of stuff using classes instead. All right, so this one, we need to check to see if the orphan pointer is also a script pointer. So if close tag name is equal to tags script, then this is script pointers append pointer data new. I gotta pivot. Don't know what it is. Oh no. Don't do it. Pivot, hard pivot to something ASAP. Yeah, I don't know. It's basically like if you want me to do something else, you can use it, I guess. I would recommend you not do that though, because that would be very annoying. That was back when I cared more about streaming, but now we're at this point in my life where I just write like random libraries. I suppose also there's no guarantee that I will accept your pivot, because it needs to be doable for me as well. All right, so I think this is okay. Needs to be one of these. I guess I also need to have a check for like, is it a built-in thingy? Because I don't allow for orphan, well currently I don't allow for just random orphan built-in classes. Forcing me to press the button though, it's dangerous. Well, you didn't lose any points, right? Because nothing popped into my my streamer queue. So I think you're okay. I think you're okay. You don't need to press the button. Yeah, I didn't do it. It looks tempting. It looks tempting. Mostly because there's nothing else for you to spend your points on, I suppose. But that's not for me to work with at this point in time. All right, so for hoist scripts, I need to check against GDML pointers and pointer data, or GDML pointers and script pointers. Play Elden Ring, there you go. No, I rejected. Don't play Elden Ring. It just absolutely killed my momentum. I do want to play Elden Ring though, but it's such a fun game. Like I think like that's the kind of game I might even want to play through twice, even though it's so big. Like I've only played through what open world games have I even played through twice? I think the only open world game I played through twice is Fallout New Vegas. Yeah. Yeah, I've played through Fallout New Vegas like 3 times. That's a great game. But I think Elden Ring, my next run through, I think I might play, might go full magic build. I saw the Iron Pineapple video on how to break the game. I was like, wow. That's actually like the path he went through to break the game was actually almost the same path I went through, except I didn't realize that you could break the game. I just kind of accidentally like got all the magic items that you needed. Which is kind of weird. So I accidentally broke the game, but then chose not to use any of the game breaking items because I'm going full sword and board. Sword and shield. It's a fun game though. Fun game. Alright, so here, when we're hoisting, we'll have pointer data. So we need to grab GDML pointers and then run through every single script pointer to see if they fall within the GDML pointer. Performance isn't good though. Yeah, I have a lot of performance issues on PC for Elden Ring. GDML pointers. So this will be start is equal to GDML pointer A and GDML pointer B. These patches are DLSS. Yeah, I don't know. Like I have a 3080 and it's very sometimes it stutters really hard. Like it's actually gotten me a few times. Like I've gotten, I don't know how far how far in you are, but like there's a certain boss. There's a certain pair of bosses that you fight slightly later on in the game on horseback, and that screwed me so hard twice. It screwed me so hard because it stuttered and I was all right. Guess I'm about to just get hit by this big sweeping attack, I guess, because I'm on a horse and I can't dodge roll. All right, so that's start and end, and then for script pointer and script pointers. So I only need to rearrange the first part of the pointer. Yeah. It happens because of shader compiling. I don't think it does. I don't think it does because it happens in the middle of boss fights for me. Like I'll be playing it and then just like I'll dodge and then it'll just, like stutter, and then go back to normal and then. So I've gotten killed before because of the stutter in a boss fight, which is very annoying. So if it's compiling shaders during boss fights, even though I'm not moving into a new area, I think that's a possibly a huge performance problem. Otherwise, I think it's just like something else, not shader related. There's NVIDIA saying that you can limit the shader cache limit. I don't think it's shaders because I'm not moving through areas. I'm like it's in a boss fight, right? In like a fairly small arena too. Yeah, not only shader. Yeah, there's other things that you can do, like just increase your cache so it uses way more memory, etc., etc. Also, I'm thinking about for script pointers, I actually don't need. Yeah, actually for script pointers, I don't actually need to store the pointer data. I just need to have the first script, right? It's just an int. So this is just the tag pointer. Oh. So this is tag pointer. And then this is also just a tag pointer. Or I guess this isn't or this is script A. Script A. And then here, this can just be PA. Does possibility use shader or an ability you never saw or compiled? No, it's like in the middle of a long fight because I'm scared. It's in the middle of a long fight, so I don't think it's a shader thing, right? I really don't think it's a shader thing. It could be. I guess if the shader gets unloaded during the fight, but it's like, I mean, it's also not a boss ability because it's a human opponent. So I don't think so. It could be. I think it's unlikely. Anti-cheat and DRM, yeah. I don't know. Like I don't think a big guy swinging axe is going to use too many more shaders. I think that's fairly unlikely. It could be the anti-cheat. Could be the anti-cheat or DRM, maybe. I did read that Elden Ring has like lower performance for like AMD CPUs, which makes sense because I have an AMD CPU. If script pointer is greater than end, then we'll just continue. Otherwise, I think I need to think about this. I need to think about this. So if the script pointer is greater than the end of the GDML pointer, then we don't care about it. Which means that, say that we had like a different script here in this GDML block. So we parse this script, see that it's not valid. So then we don't do anything for it. Yeah. Oh, hold on. It needs to be between these 2 points. Okay, hold on. If script pointer is greater than end, or script pointer is less than start. Oh yeah, let's actually reverse that because that's weird. Frame rate time spikes, yeah. Your settings, shader cache, and limited. I'm not gonna change that like live on stream, but it's an interesting thing to do. Interesting thing to do. I'll give it a try. Script pointer is less than start, or script pointer is greater than end. I think that makes sense. Let's see. So if that's true, I think we need to hang on to like a move list, maybe. Because I don't want to start manipulating the tags while I'm still processing their pointer. So let's run through this logically. So given something like this, so should hoist, we see that this is down here. We don't care about the close tag. We see it's down here. What we want to do is hoist it to the top. So we'll hoist all of them to the top. The order is, I don't know, just indeterminate. Basically just like however the parser decides to hoist them to the top. Which is probably gonna mean like the lower down your script is defined in the file, the higher up it's hoisted. That's fine though. If your scripts are incompatible, that's not my problem. Or if your scripts depend on each other, which is also very strange, they should not do that. That's not my problem. Because I try to namespace them anyways. Let's see. We hoist it up, so we see that we have a script in position, say 53. That's actually the line number, it's not actually the position. But then we hoist it and then place it at position 2. Then we'll see something at position 3, slide it in after position 1, which is position 2 again, which means that we're just reordering the tags here, and then we use that tag data, in order to, yeah, layout for tag and layout tags. So we need to maintain a list of pointers to hoist. Yeah, pointers. Oh no, but we don't want to hoist it too early, I think. Actually, yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Pointers to hoist. Right, scripts only on top. Well, it's because I'm hoisting them, right? I need to hoist them. I could make it so like so it's a requirement, right? Like whatever script you write must be before whenever you use it. But I think this is more what people expect, right? Like I think there's a level that I'm willing to interface with, you know, users. Like this is what people expect to happen, right? It's because it already resembles JavaScript, so I might as well hoist it like JavaScript as well. That's kind of my take on it. Pointers to hoist, append, script pointer. For example, why not parse it twice? What do you mean, why not parse it twice? For different purposes? Yeah, I could parse it twice, but I think that actually complicates it, right? That complicates it, because then I need to keep track of all the scripts, and then also figure out, then I also need to kind of parse the GDML things, but don't parse any of the elements inside of it, just the scripts. And then afterwards, I need to parse the elements inside of it, which is kind of tough. So I guess I could, right? I guess that would help. So we do like we run through this twice. So if it's I suppose we could just run through every single script, or yeah, I suppose we could do like for tag and layout tags twice, but then only match again. No, because then I can't. No, that's tough, right? Because then I don't really know. I don't know. I feel like running through it twice kind of complicates it, actually. Because I need an object to attach the script to, right? So like, yeah, then you could say that like, okay, we just keep track of the GDML object that we attach scripts to. And then when we run through it again, we just find the existing GDML objects and then attach all of the elements to it. But I think that's complicated. You have an object after you parse it second. No, I need to have the object after I've parsed it the first time, or else how do I know what to attach the script to? Right, I think it's easier just to hoist them beforehand and then do a forward parse after that. I think that's easier, but of course that's not hard to re-implement, I suppose, but you don't attach. Well, see, then what do? Then I need to maintain a mapping between the base object. I need to maintain a mapping between the root objects and then the scripts, but don't attach it. So if I'm already maintaining the mapping, I might as well like automatically attach it. Like I hope you can see where the complexity is coming from. So I think it's easier just to hoist, to reorder all the tags and then just parse it top to bottom. I think that's easier as opposed to having to maintain a mapping of everything. Because I already have a mapping of everything. I don't want to maintain two mappings of everything. If I already have the mapping, then I can just reorder the mapping. Yeah, so if we have these script pointers, then these pointers point exactly to their position. So we can do 4. Oh, actually, we need to order the pointers to hoist. So pointers to hoist, sort. Sorts the array. I think this is okay, so we'll sort them. And then make sure that they are moved appropriately. Or no, I guess we could just grab all the tags, right? So this is tags to hoist. Tags to hoist. And then I can also guarantee that they will never be out of order. So tags. Tags, script pointer, perhaps. And then tags. Is there move? Is there... I guess we can remove. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so imagine from your description a hoist. It's not really... I guess that's closer to what actual hoisting is, right? Is that you run through it twice. But I think I can do this differently. I mean, that's the second option, right? Of course. If this doesn't work how I think it works. For tag in tags to hoist, we'll do tags remove. Is there a way to just move an element? Or is it only like insert? Tags. Oh, and that's by index. By searching for its value. Okay, gotta think about this. I suppose this is closer to like pop ats and then reinserting them. Yeah, okay. So this should be pointers to hoist. Script pointer, then for I in pointers to hoist, we'll do tags remove by index, or no, it's pop at I bar tag is equal to that, which is a tag. It doesn't really matter really. Then we'll do tags insert start. So we insert max in place. So this is going to be somewhat slow, but that's okay. It's start +1 tag, one of these. Okay. I think that's okay. Yeah. So if we do this, then this should still be valid. Give it a run. Ooh, seems to still work. Actually, because we didn't actually call it hoist scripts. Okay, let's call hoist scripts. So layout, hoist scripts. Give it a try. That should still parse correctly. Yeah. Give it another run just in case that was a fluke. Okay, so now we're hoisted. Which means we should be able to run this thing. So here, when we parse the scripts, we don't actually want to run any of these test thingies. What we want to do is add instance. So I can pass in a descriptor which is just a dictionary. So script handler. No, it's not script handler. It's control root. So it needs a descriptor. And actually, I think I'm going to do it not as a dictionary. I'm going to do it as like an actual descriptor. Maybe. No, we'll do it like this. Let me see. I'm going to create a new class. I'm going to create a new class to handle this. So this is like script descriptor or instance descriptor. Instance descriptor. Reference, there's your instance descriptor. So var name, some sort of string. So instance descriptor, what else do we have? Probably like source, var source. And then we can check these in, you know, order of importance, shall we say? So instance descriptor. Const instance descriptor. There's your instance descriptor, and then here we'll do var descriptor is equal to instance descriptor new, and then based off of certain values that may or may not actually exist on the node or on the tag. So, you know, if tag, let's see, for key in tag attributes dot keys. Basically, yeah, that's all you need to do. For attribute in tag attributes dot keys. For key in tag attributes dot keys. So var value is equal to tag attributes key, one of these, and then here we just need to figure out what exactly it maps back to on the descriptor. So based off of this, we only have two things, which are source and name. I guess I could just do this, right? It's just descriptor. Descriptor set key tag attributes key. So that should just work, I think. Because set does not fail. It'll just do nothing if it doesn't actually exist. And so current root, we don't have a, this is not a descriptor in the traditional sense, I suppose. Or it's not, what am I talking about? It is a descriptor in the traditional sense, but it's not a, like a dictionary, I suppose. It's instance descriptor. So we always get a descriptor, and then we'll do descriptor get, and then we can do instance descriptor, do like func get name, which gives you back a string. So then this is return name if not name empty. Or I guess, okay, so this is return value, right? Return R. So if name, if not name, if not name empty, R is equal to name. Elif not source empty. Then R is equal to source get file. Yeah, there we go. Otherwise, we'll just return an empty string, and then this one will be descriptor descriptor get name. It'll be yeah, it'll be either descriptor or instance dot get class. Okay. Var descriptor name. Descriptor get name. If descriptor name empty, then descriptor name is equal to this thing. So descriptor name, and then the auto instance count. Okay. Okay. Cool. So now we are correctly passing in either the file name minus the .gd part or the actual script name. And if these don't exist, I'm not sure what to do. I guess that should just be an error, because otherwise there's no way to namespace it. So control roots. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's okay. So if you don't pass in anything, then I just use the instance, and I try to give you a reasonable default, which is fine, I suppose. But it also means that you cannot namespace it. So you don't namespace it, and it's just kind of like, it just kind of exists. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's a reasonable thing to expect. So if you don't provide either a source, and I use the source script name as the name, or if you don't provide a name like this, then I just automatically name your script to whatever the thing it extends is. So in this case, this script down here should be hoisted and then be stored in something called reference 0 ? Yeah, reference 0. Yeah, okay, so let's give that a try, see if it gets hoisted correctly. Oh, baby. So let's look at this. We should have 3 instances. So we have test script GD 0. Oh, and they all get a 0 appended to them, which is not correct. But built-in, okay, so how do you get the file name minus the extension? I thought get file, it just gives you the file name without minus the extension, or is that not how that works? Let me see. Source get file. Why do you need namespaces? Maybe to add prefix. Yeah. So we need namespaces. Yeah. Like, this is something that you mentioned before, right? So if you want to be able to call a specific file or define like, okay, like I want to be on pressed from built-in script, then you need to namespace it, right? Otherwise, like Godot doesn't have the concept of like just regular file access, which is one of the annoying parts about Godot. This is something that actually you brought up. There's no way to there's no way to whatever, I don't know. There's no way to define where a function comes from, and this it will be random unless you define a namespace. So that's what I've done. Let me see. Get returns the full file path without the extension, and then I guess I can do like a remove here. So like get file, and then we can also, is it erase? Replace .gd with nothing. So then we'll use that as the actual name. You're afraid that two scripts conflict with the same name? That's not my problem, right? That's not my problem. If you intentionally break your own scripts, that's your fault. You know, there's only so much I can do, you know. I've given you the tools. If you decide to use the tools to shoot yourself in the foot, that's not my problem. Right? Like I can't. We're all adults here. That's the thing I always like to say. Is we're all adults here. So if you want to do something dangerous, that's not my problem. I mean, if you're able to do so. Well, what do you mean? If two scripts have the same name, then I believe the earlier one will take precedence because of how I'm doing the hoisting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Is because I actually hoist in reverse order, I think. So I hoist this one first. Yeah, because I check for. I do the pre-pass backwards. So then when we hoisted it, we also hoisted backwards. So if I had two scripts, one called built-in script up here, one called built-in script down here, what I would expect is that this bottom built-in script will get overridden by this upper built-in script. So, I mean, that's, you know, there's no way I can check for everything, so I don't care. Just like rename the function to foo function to make it pseudo namespace? Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Once again, we're all adults here. If you have the same script name in two places and then you're also overriding it, guess what? The first one will take precedence. So, you know, you should endeavor not to have too many inline scripts. Because I can't help you in that case. Yeah, I think that's kind of my approach for a lot of things. Oh, actually, check it out. Oh, actually, never mind. I don't want to do that. So if you have a valid name, I should not auto-append the instance counts. Let's see. Let me see. Instance name. I should do it like this. So we'll just pass in the descriptor name. Yeah. What is this? Oh, a descriptor name. So var instance name is descriptor name, and then if that exists, I think it's only for... Yeah, okay. So only for, like, basically anonymous scripts will I try to will I try to automatically namespace them. If you define a name, I would assume that you would want to access it by name. So I think that makes sense. Let's see. There's a way I can reorder these so they make more sense. One of these, descriptor get name. We don't need the descriptor anymore. No, I guess we need the original name, I suppose. So there's your instance name, and then if that thing is empty. So if it's empty, then we'll do var class name is equal to this, and then we want to try to do it automatically. Instance name is equal to class name. It's a very Java style way of doing it. So instance name is now your class name. Oh, actually, if we're doing it like that, yeah, never mind. Then we just need to do it like this. Oh, actually, no. Wait, yes, no. Thinking. Description. Take out instance name. Instance name. Description. Descriptor name. Descriptor name. Yeah. Okay, as long as we never append it twice. Okay. So what do we have? We have these things. So we have built-in script, test script, button script, and then just a reference. And then this, oh, okay. Well, built-in script, add instance. So is this hanging or no? Because I'm not able to introspect on it. Maybe it didn't get hoisted like I thought it would. Yeah, I guess it didn't get hoisted like I thought it would. Maybe it got hoisted in the other direction. So maybe I need to invert it here. So pointer still hoist, invert, so that it gives me back a node instead. Built-in script. Okay, so we need to invert it so it's we hoist them in reversed order. Okay. Hoist tags in reverse order so that scripts defined earlier in the file take precedence. Yeah, okay. One of those. So I think this is okay. So checking the instances once again, there's your built-in script. That's a node. Reference 0 is a reference, so it doesn't have anything in it. Button script is a button. Then test script is just a reference. Okay, cool. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going to refill my drinks. I'll be right back. Hello. I'm back. All right. So instance descriptor, it's just name, source, and then probably like type. That's kind of what I'm envisioning, is that we'll have the ability to just have like inline scripts as well that are, I guess we like dynamically generate an executable script somehow. I don't know. Maybe this is okay. Let's just keep it like this. So add instance, everything else is a node, blah, blah. We're not going to do themes just yet because we're just using the default theme. But here, if we have a connect thingy, then we can do current root. What were the things? It's find and connect. Find and connect. Signal name. Okay, so it's not actually attribute, that's like value. Value. Find and connect. So it has to be signal name, node, and then, oh, then we need the callback, huh? Then we need the callback. Okay. I gotta think about that then. Because I think it needs to be inline, right? Because you could possibly want to connect to multiple signals on the same object. Okay. Yeah. Or actually, what would be cool? Yeah, actually, this could be potentially really cool. So instead of doing callback is equal to this, we do it angular style. So just pressed is equal to whatever this is. Oh, baby. That's actually pretty sick. That's actually kind of cool. So if there's anything that we don't recognize, then we can check to see if this is a signal. If node has signal key, or node has user signal key. I think that's somewhat unlikely, but we'll check both things just in case. So if that's true, then we'll do current root find and connect. So the signal is going to be the key. The callback will be on... Wait. What are the other things? Node is the node. And then the callback is the value. Oh, baby. And so, if that works, this will be super sick. What was the callback for hello? Is that just a label? It was just a label, okay. Why does this one look different? Oh, that's hello label. This one needs to be this one. Maybe I'm not able to... Oh, it's because I'm not able to click on it, right? Because I need to set the pass-through property. Or the... What's it called? The thingy? The node sets. What is it called? This is the mouse filter, property mouse filter. Mouse filter is equal to control mouse filter ignore. I think that's okay, so we can give this a try. All right. I guess it's not connecting, and then we don't appear to have any errors on that either. All right, so let's see. Let's see. This is almost like at the super cool part. Just imagine if you could set up your signals like this instead of having to do it like so much differently. Okay, so there is the breakpoint. The key is... I don't know what the key is. The key is pressed. Find and connect. Jump into that. It's a cool way of doing it. Yeah. Yeah. So if it's callback name, it does not, does not. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Instances. Oh, I don't have... So these should have parsed correctly, because I'm actually able to execute them as well. Oh, I didn't, That makes sense. I see. So the problem is I didn't parse this part first. I didn't parse the namespace. So I need to parse the namespace just in case. So var split value. So this is a pool string array is equal to value split on periods, and then depending on whether or not there are one or two, so if split value size is equal to 1, then we'll find and connect this one. I guess we should match, right? Split value size. So this will be 1. So if it's 1, then we'll just pass in the value, right? It doesn't matter. If it's 2, then we'll do a thing. Otherwise, that's an error. Invalid callback for key value. This is node name. There we go. Here I need to add find and connect. It's not really find and connect anymore. This is now func direct connect. So this is the same thing essentially, except the logic is different. And then return error, can't resolve. All right, this is direct connect. Direct connect. Okay, so var instance is equal to instances dot get. This is like instance name string. If instance is not null, then we'll do all of this stuff. So if instance has method, boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. So these are all the connection thingies. Connections. And then var error is equal to whatever the heck these are, right? So these are ints. Am I already using it? Okay, I am already using error. So error is equal to this. If error is not okay, then we'll do push error. Error occurred when connecting. Then this one. What does no connect return? Ints? Yeah, it returns okay if it was okay. I don't remember what other things it returns. But it does return okay most of the time. Direct connect. So then we know what the value is. So split value 0. Key node split value 1. And then we'll do the same thing. Error code. Give it a try. Okay. Oh, baby. It works. It's beautiful. Hello, hello, hello. And I suppose now this, okay, so now we're at the fun part where we can start adding in like statefulness and stuff. Git commit script callbacks are, or I guess elements callbacks working. Just send it. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So let's test this. So we can also try this non-namespace. So it'll just look for the first hello. I guess let's also change the, this is hello 2. Try not printing, but change the text of the button. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard, I think. I would need to think about how to do it. So how would you do, like, changing the text? You would need to pass in an argument. You need to pass in an argument. So I would need to do like additional parsing of more script attributes. Or possibly just have these change itself. Yeah, I'm thinking about how to do it, right? Because this isn't like, this is just like my own syntax at this point, which I'm not a huge fan of. So how I could pass like the node as an argument by default, but I don't want to do that. Like, I know it works, right? Because obviously the script is firing, so of course it works. No, of course, okay, sure. I mean, we can do that, but I know it works. So we do this, connect, yeah, there it is, yeah, it works. There it is. The logic is solid. I'm not worried about the logic. So how would I define an argument? Because I can only do it based on the current attributes, because I also don't want to hoist the attributes. I don't want to hoist the attributes. Every attribute should more or less be self-contained, just like So how would I pass like arbitrary arguments? You know what? I could always, I suppose, yeah. Like, isn't it in JavaScript you always pass the? Actually, isn't it in JavaScript you always pass in the elements as an argument? I can't do it. See, this is what I'm saying though, right? I can't do args because then I would need to. I would basically need to hoist it one more time. I don't want to hoist it multiple times. Because see, I'm just running through every single attribute key by key. So if I put the args in a different attribute, then I need to hoist it. Because then I don't know the order. And then also, because of this, right? Because of how I'm doing this, because this is very Angular style, you can also do button down, right? Button down can also just have its own thing. And actually, because it has its own thing, we can also do like gives true as the callback for hello 1. Then you should pass itself by, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is I should probably pass itself by default. I think that makes sense. But is that how Angular, isn't that how React works actually? Is that it always passes itself by default? I don't remember. I need a JavaScript expert. I don't know, like, I'm only really super familiar with React, but it's been a long time. I worked with the Angular JS before, where Angular JS is like Angular 1 essentially. Oh, thank you very much, Abrams, for the hydrates. Just drink something other than alcohol at this point. Thank you. That was a very big gulp. That was 250 milliliters. If you want to customize, then you put variables in the function. I don't know how you would do that though. I guess like this, oh, you need to just bind. Okay, so React works by just binding it, and then you don't automatically have the parameter. I'm remembering now, React you need to bind things, which is super gross. I don't know. But see, this is the power of this. So gives true will actually connect to that lower one. So whenever the button down, it should just print over and over again, I think. Actually, no, it'll just return. Let's print true, and then it also just returns true. Okay, Angular, not React. I'm really only familiar with React. Oh, okay, so now I'm running into an error. That's interesting. Am I not able to... Oh, okay. Sorry. Called with this one. So check this out. Yeah. Like dynamic bindings text label? I don't know. Do you have a Angular callbacks? Sure. Give me how to lifecycle hooks. That looks pretty good. Export blah blah on a init. Sure, log it. No, this one log it doesn't have a it doesn't pass the element. Okay. Okay. Spy and no, this is a spy. I don't care about spies. This one. Don't really know what this means. Text labels because it uses states. Well, this could be stateful. It's just hard trying to design something that doesn't actually exist. Oh, thank you very much, Abram H, for the follow, by the way. Sorry to call you out, but you did redeem something in chat. I don't know. Do you have an example? I'm not familiar with modern Angular, or even AngularJS, because that was all like copy and paste. It wasn't my code, but I had to work with it. Like, I think the easiest way is just to assume that you'll always receive like the elements as the last parameter, so you always need to handle it like that. And how to pass args? Yeah. Well, how does Angular pass args? Like, I'm not really seeing it here because these are callbacks. Optional callback function. Yeah, but what does the function? How does it defined? How is it defined in HTML? Because this is all just JavaScript, which is fine and dandy. Like, these are templates, sure. Like this one looks close to what I want, but I don't understand how it's. I guess I don't understand how this works. It's probably not component interaction, right? No, I just want the HTML. I just want the HTML. Angular doesn't pass args. That's tough. Well, I need to pass args, so that doesn't help me at all. That doesn't help me at all. I guess what I could do. Oh no, you know what I'm thinking about? Inline script? No, I'm not doing an inline script because I already have a script. We already have scripts. It doesn't make any sense to pass an inline script. What I'm thinking is I already have this syntax, right? In order to kind of like manually type hints. I have the syntax already to manually type hints styles. So what if I change it? It's not inject in styles, but I'm saying the same idea. So if we change this to that. Wait, no. Yeah, something like that. So we change everything to a more like C-style syntax. Like that. So we're basically, we cast this to whatever we want it to be. And then here on Parsed, check it out. We can pass in self as an argument, and also no, because if we're going to be using parentheses, then we need to use something else in order to inject stuff, and then we need to be able to cast it as well. Like that. Oh no. Oh, and then we have node number. Oh no. Do you see where I'm going with this? Oh, this is horrible. Okay, so now I need to change how styles are parsed. So styles, style handler, we will split based off of the close bracket, because that's what we're using to cast. That's what we're using to cast, yeah. It does mess up the linter. That's why state exists. I don't, how do I, if you want to use state, then you should be using the source attributes, right? That's how I see it. If you want to use state, then you should be using the source attribute, which allows you to directly attach a button script to anything, right? Like I don't know what else to do, right? That is the most flexible way to do it. Is like because it's also the Godot way of doing it, is that you attach a script if you want to maintain state. Like I'm not trying to come up with my own HTML system. This is still like very Godot based. If I deviate too hard from Godot, then like what's the point? And then we also want to replace so style. I think that's okay actually. Key, where is key defined? Key. Oh yeah, this should also be replaced. So we need to do like a ton of find and replaces for this. But I think this is technically more correct. So style handler, this should just work for like both these cases. So margin test should still be red. And then here, I need to clean this up. I'm starting to really dislike this again. So value, we need to grab value 1 and then split it again. Var val split. So pool string array is equal to split val, or no. Wait. What is this? This is like arg split. But if you want to pass var from built-in script, would it work? It should. I don't know. What do you mean pass a var from built-in script? I don't know how you would pass a var. Like, can you even do that in Angular? Like, I think you're trying to solve for things that don't even exist in like regular JavaScript frameworks. Right? Or I guess how does it work in Angular? Or how does it work in React? If you have a, like, I know in jQuery you can do it because it has like it does a pre-pass and then kind of injects itself into your HTML. Your built-in script can be used as a state handler. Oh, absolutely not. I think there is a way to handle states. So right here, as long as the script injects their state back into the parents, because I for every single instance, I inject the parents into the meta key or into the meta field as parents. So if you want to access state, then you can do that like that. And then it's just available in data. So, I mean, that is the root node. So, by the way, I think you're forgetting every single time, or you might be forgetting this one time, is that this is still Godot. This is not like my own HTML implementation. This is still Godot. This is creating Godot elements. So this needs to work in a Godot way. So I can set things in the meta key if you want to store state. But I don't think that's a great idea, personally. So we'll split based off of that, I think. So this is the second split, and then we need to split one more time to get the args. So this is like process args. Yeah, I guess this is like process args, right? Process connect args based off of some string. For example, put var equals true and then pass the button that value, like built-in script function, built-in. Well, what does that mean? Because it has to be a callback, right? It has to be a callback. So I can't just pass it. I suppose if what you're asking is like if I could do like in addition to just random values, I could do built-in script. Yeah, so if we put like var test var, I suppose, and just have this equal to 1. I guess that could work. Yeah. I guess you could do that. So this will be like test var. This requires like so much like pre-parsing though. I guess that's okay. That's pretty wild. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like if you want to pass in like an actual variable, then you need to namespace it. Well, actually, no, you don't. You actually don't need to pass in. Yeah, you actually don't need to pass in one of those, because like I could do the same thing that I'm doing here in control root, where we just kind of try to look for it if you don't pass anything. That's so weird. That is so weird. Yeah. Like also for this, right, is I could do this in like the Python way. So this is the like kind of like the reserved name. So if you overwrite this is not my problem. If you accidentally pass in or name one of your variables underscore underscore data underscore underscore, that's your fault, not my problem. So you can either use that. So you could try to use any value from data underscore underscore data underscore underscore. Or I guess at least when we're connecting, we'll try to look for any value that matches in any of the various. I don't know, actually. I gotta think about that. Anyways, let's do the process connect args. This will return an array. So var r array will return r. This is a, I guess this is some sort of text. It comes out as a string. We need to parse the values. So here we'll do var split text split wait. So based off this, okay, hold on. I gotta think. So based off this, we're splitting based off this. Or we could just pass that in entirely and then just discard part of it. Yeah, okay. I think I can do that. So we'll do var args is equal to generate connect args based off of split val1 so we'll see if there are two things. If split, oh, and then we also want to ignore empty, by the way. So ignore empty or allow empty false. So no empty args. If split size does not equal 2, then we'll just return r early. Otherwise, we'll do var args is equal to split 1 strip or left strip. Or no, we need to erase. Okay, hold on. Replace. Well, no, we just got to strip the last part. So if you mess it up, that's not my problem either. It'll fail parsing, but that's not my problem. Blah blah blah. Var split args. Or we can do, no, we gotta do var split args is equal to split args, which is a pool string array. Okay, hold on. Then we also need to take out all the replace spaces with nothing. So that gives us a comma delimited list. Then we'll split again based on the commas. And then for I in split args. So a question, when you parse this, it creates instances for itself, right? Including a built-in script? Yes. It creates everything, and then every single script that you define here also gets attached to the built-in script. Yes. And then if you want to interface with that, then you can, I don't know, I'm gonna add like input output signals. So you can create components like with this, like cards. Essentially, yeah. Essentially, yeah. I think it'll almost 100% break for now if you put like an inner GDML inside of another GDML, because there's no way for me to. For right now, the parser kind of breaks. Yeah, based on the stack management that I'm doing, it'll break if you put a GDML inside of another GDML. Each one will have its own states with a built-in script. Yes, kind of. Not really. You can't really nest it, unfortunately. But I think I can work around that as long as I figure out how to do like the nesting. But I think if I want to do the nesting, I need to not discard close tags for GDML stuff. But I need to think about that. I'm not sure. I think once I get something working, I can start to refactor it. But for now, this is really tough. But right now, the limitation is that you cannot nest GDML root nodes. But I think what you could do, what I want to be able to do is be able to load in other .xml, other just XML files, and then you can position them like that, I guess. I don't know. I need to think about it. This is already pretty tough. My brain is breaking. My brain is breaking. So for I in split args. These are all comma delimited. And so I guess self will be a special reserved character. So if I is equal to self. Oh, then I need to pass in the node. So I don't know what the node is. And then I also need to pass in the current root. Current root, which is some sort of control. Node, I have no idea what it is, and then the text is the args, right? Your refined code can handle 10 times tough ones. Well, it's just because it's hard because no one does this kind of stuff. there's no. It's a fun puzzle because no one solved it before, right? And then, yeah, okay, so we'll parse this in order, by the way. So the order does matter. So we'll pass in node. Else, we might need to... Oh, okay, hold on. I need to parse, I need to split it. I need to split it again. I need to split it again. I need to split it. Var cast split is pool string array is equal to I split this. Wait, no. This needs to split on close. Then this one, by the way, we need to split, or we need to replace. Hold on. This one. R strip 1. This one needs to be L strip. Or no, not R strip 1. We need to strip one of these. Yeah, okay. So style, that's handled. Cast split. We need to check to see if there's any casts. Memo also not the right self every time. Nah. I think if you want to be the benefit of not passing self every single time is that you can just use a regular script if you want. So you don't need to modify any of your existing stuff. You only need to modify your existing stuff if you want to modify your existing stuff. I think that's one of the interesting parts. That's interesting to me. So we need at least 3, which makes sense. Current, root, node, one of these. And then cast split. If cast split is equal to, or size is equal to 2. Var value is equal to I. Then here, if cast split is equal to 2, then value is equal to, then we'll need to match based off of the cast. Cast split 0 left strip open. So I'll match on that. Did I handle that correctly? So bum 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 bum. That's okay. Yeah, that's how I did that there. Whew. Okay. How did I do this with style, by the way? I think I need to have like a handler for this. So that's float val is equal to float I, or no, float hold on. Value is untyped. Val is equal to I. So we'll assume strings for now by default. But this is cast split 1. So that's a float. Int, we'll do val int cast split 1. String technically does not need to be handled, but that's okay. Color oh no, actually no, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. That's fine. Color J color N. It's not node, by the way, it's value. Value is equal to color capital N J. So this is splitting based on if there is an override. So here we have an override int1, and then here if it's I is self, then we'll just append the node. Or no, it's not I, it's val. If val is equal to self, then we'll do that. Else if, I guess we need to match. We need to match on the, well no, then we just append it, right? We don't care anymore because we've already casted it. Yeah, something like that. And then this just needs to handle this. This part is going to be kind of tough since I need to I need to somehow indicate that this is a built-in value. I don't know. Well, let's not handle this just yet. That's complicated. That's extremely complicated. That's very, very complicated. Or no, maybe we can do that. So if elif type of value is equal to type string, then we can try to look for, we can look inside the current root, control root, and then find variable, something like that. Find variable, So thing, which is a string, and then there's no descriptor like whatsoever, right? Find variable, and then it just returns something, right? So for I in instances dot values var val is equal to I dot get thing if val is not, oh, but then this oh, that's fine, yeah. Oh, that's totally fine, yeah. Wait, no. Wait, yes. Hold on, I gotta think about this. Right, because if you want to pass in like a regular string, you would need to do like string, something like that. Or I guess you would need to do it with single quotes. Right? So that would be your normal string. So then I guess I would need to check to see if like the first and last values are string thingies. If they are string thingies, then it's just a regular string and then we don't need to do any additional parsing. So if val, isn't it like you can check if val is equal to, and for var is in built-in script, I suppose. But then that just requires more parsing anyways, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I think this is more Godot like, essentially. Val 0 is equal to, then r dot append value. Otherwise, I need to have thing. I guess this is class again. So then this is var instance is equal to instances get class if instance is equal to null, return error, what is it? Invalid parameter. That's not possible. It needs to be null. Then we'll do if instance var val is equal to instance gets thing, and then then we'll just return that. That's okay, because it'll be null anyways. So find variable. So we'll do, if it's just a raw string, and then we only need to check the first part of it too. If you mess it up, that's not my problem. So it'll be var r appends current root finds variable. Oh, hold on. Then we need to split this one more time. Var class split, which is a pool string array, is equal to value split on these, and we also want to ignore empties. So class split, we're looking for class split 0, class split 1, something like that. Okay. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too hard. All right, I think we have a few errors. So invalid callback. Invalid callback for this. All right, what happened? I'm starting to run up on time once again. Ugh. But generate invalid callback. So we have too many. We should only split once. Oh, okay. That's tough. I guess if we're splitting left to right, then that's okay. Is that how you do split? Gotta sneeze. So if val or type of val is equal to type string. Oh, and then we can do some additional fancy parsing inside of here. Val is equal to self. Then do this. L if this. Okay, cool. 3 errors, that's good. Error when connecting. 26. Invalid callback. Invalid callback for button pressed. Built-in script on pressed. Oh, well, I don't know what the error was. Wait a minute. How does string split work then? Isn't that how that works? Split. Max split. Oh. We only want to split once up here. So this is split delimiter, allow empty, false, max split 1. So we only want to split once. Yeah, and then this goes from left to right because we live in Western developers. Okay, I guess we need to hit it with a breakpoint at this point. So split value. What is the split value? All right, so this is the big giant one. What is the split value? It's 2 args. Let's step inside. So that's the split. I guess we only want to split once for that one as well. So, okay. Oh, I see. No, that's arg. That's args. As long as we don't work with split 1 again, that's fine. All right, then split args is equal to oh. No, split args is 4. So we have self, int1, string. Oh. Oh, okay. So the last arg is bad because it never got stripped. Oh, it's right strip, not left strip. Right strip. All right, send me here. Send me back here. Okay, I think that's it. So split arg, split, boom, boom. That looks pretty good. So current I is self. So then we try to split on that. If cast split size 2 does not, otherwise value is self. If it's a string, we append node, cast splits there's too many things. I'm confused. Cast split. But we want to match against strip. Okay, there's the value. Then we just append it. Value cast split. It's not cast otherwise. Yeah, okay, so then we're at value is just string. If that's valid, boom, boom. Cast split. It's not cast, so val is built-in test script. All right, so we step inside. What is cast split or class split? What is class split? Don't appear to have class split. I think I've missed it. We've kind of overflowed the stack, I guess. The built-in script, boom, boom. Turn instance get thing. Okay. Then built-in script has a test var. If error is not okay. What is error? Oh, error is still 26 because what is error 26? Okay. Error 26 is can't resolve. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I missed it. So that was a direct connect. Oh, it's because of the args. Okay, so the args. Actually, it's not because of the args, but all right, send me. I think these args are correct. So args, that's the object. One, that makes sense. Actually, I should change that so it's not as ambiguous. So this is 2, just so it's obvious that we should be looking for 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Direct connect, step inside of it. Direct connect, instances. If instances is null, which it should not be. There it is. If instance has method, it does not have the callback. So it should be on pressed. Okay. Interesting. So what happened? What happened? That is a valid error. So instance name, what is this signal name? Pressed? Or what is the callback name? Oh, okay, I see. So the callback name is wrong. Okay. So those are your args. Bar callback. Callback name is a string. If args size is greater than 0, then callback name is equal to split value 1, and then we'll want to split it again based off of what does it look like? Yeah, just split it based off of this one. Grab the first value. or grab the first value. Otherwise, callback name is equal to split value just by itself. Or we can do this all in one line. That's fine. Args size 0 else split val 1, something like that. This is starting to like be like super Python style. This is killing me. One more try. I think the styles are kind of wrong, but that's okay. Hello 2 is kind of broken. Hello 1 seems okay. Oh, Hello 2 is broken because of the... Okay, hold on. Other pressed. Prints. Other. Let's change Hello 2 just so that we're not crazy. So Hello 1, true. All right, so we're running into errors now. Method expected 2 arguments, we called it 4. Oh, that makes sense. So this is... Oh no, this is A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. I don't know what these are supposed to be. Actually, I do. So this is D. This is S. This is D. Okay. One more try, one more try. Oh, baby, it works. Oh, that's bizarre, but I'm into it. It works. Yeah, look at that. I think the style parsing is kind of broken. The style parsing is kind of broken now. Margin test should still be red, so it means it's something with this now. So, right strip, did I not? Or did I strip this on the, there should be a left strip maybe? Okay, there we go. It's beautiful, check that out. So now, using this, my kind of like super weird syntax. Using my weird syntax. Okay. Okay. So here you can see that we have connected a button. So it's connected to both pressed and button down. Button down gives true, which is connected to this anonymous script. Whereas pressed is connected to built-in script on pressed, which is up here. And it takes 4 parameters. And then we're passing in 4 parameters. So self, we're casting int to 1. We're passing in a regular string. We have built-in script and test var. Actually, I wonder if string, you can just do something like that. Does that work? I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Yeah, it fails parsing. That makes sense. But that's not my fault. I guess you can still do this as long as you escape it like that. Isn't that how that works? Like you can escape strings like that? No, you can't. Maybe not. Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, look at that. So callbacks, they work. I guess we can do one of these. So whenever we obtain test bar, we'll do test bar plus equals one of these. Something like that, I guess. Let's give it a try. So we should see it count up. No, okay. So it's not a reference to the value. I guess if we wanted to get a reference to it, I would need to wrap it in another class, which is kind of tough. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense though, because I'm passing in... I gotta think about that. How would you... It's a primitive value, so it's hard to... If it was a reference, I think it would actually count up. Oh no, I gotta think about that. So I'm able to pass in a static value from one of these classes. So you pass it, yeah, it's passed by value. Well, it's because it's a primitive, right? I think if I were to do this, right? So we do class wrapped int. So var, I guess I is equal to 2, right? And then this is now equal to wrapped int new, and then I can define, you know, like func to string return string I. One of those. And then, of course, we kind of string it. So we do test var I plus equals 1, something like that. I think that will work. Yeah, see, that will work. Because we're passing a reference at that point. I guess you can't really see it because of the duck, but... Yeah, so if it's a primitive, then you must pass it by... You must wrap it in another class in order to pass it by reference. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I would need to think about it. That's neat, though. That's neat. That's neat. My brain hurts. So I'm going to push this. So git commit. Callbacks with parameters implemented. I think this needs like a pretty serious code cleanup. That's really cool. Yeah. Callbacks with callbacks are implemented. I think the last part is I need to really quickly. I want to see. So how do I get just a variable by reference? I guess it's not possible, right? Yeah, actually, yeah. It's the same thing with like built-in Godot stuff. So if you pass, like in regular Godot, if you pass a primitive value as one of these callbacks, it will always just be that primitive value, I'm pretty sure. So I think this is the way you have to do it. That's cool though. Yeah, I think the only thing that's kind of missing is the ability to pass a class, like an arbitrary class. Yeah, so I guess this is like find variable and then find class. So func find class. So this is just class string return instance. Basically like this, right? And so based off of this stuff here, so based off of if class split size is equal to 1, then R appends current root find class value. Oh, and then I guess if you have too many splits, then I don't really know what to do. Because then I would need to continue to, you know, like split down. I would need to continue the splits, the string. And it would just be a big split chain. I guess that's possible, right? So we can do match class split size. So if it's 1, yeah, I guess that's okay. And then let's add a to do. So to do, add ability, or add, or I guess allow for multiple periods. So we can, so this probably needs to be recursive. Probably needs to be recursive. So if you have multiple periods, then we need to just continue drilling down into the class, following the, I guess, the get chain. Changes in test bar, changes connecting nodes get a callback. No, I think that's something that the developer will need to implement themselves. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's, if you want to implement that, then you're free to, I guess. That sounds complicated because then you'll need something to watch the variable. And I don't think Godot has a great way of doing that just by default. Yeah. I don't think Godot has a great way of doing that. You know it's useful? I do know it's useful, but it's not something that I think a lot of people will need. Right? If you want to build on top of it, then sure. You dynamically change text labels? Yeah, but that's tough. I think that's extremely tough to do. Because I'm not sure how to inform the built-in classes. That's something, or inform the UI that something has changed on the one of its bindings. I don't know. That's tough. I need to think about it. Is there a good way to do it without just checking like variable state every single frame? I don't know. Because pretty much like all these are more or less like kind of stateless unless I attach a script directly to it. Yeah, signal. Well, the signal doesn't, there's no signal for variable changed. You need to watch. You need to watch the variable to see if it changed. Which means that you need to have something in process that says like, hey, has this variable changed? I don't think that's, if there's a better way, I'm open to it. But I'm pretty sure what you need to do is in your process function, check every single variable you have. Create a class that accepts connections. But then what if you change the variable without going through the connector class? Right? It doesn't make any sense. It's too restrictive, which I don't like. So if you just bypass the connector, then it doesn't make any sense. You don't do that though, but you could. You could. Like I'm okay with, I guess, forcing a syntax on you, but I think determining, like telling you how to write your own code is not, like telling you how to write your GD script is not really my problem, right? What my problem is telling you how to write this syntax or write this like HTML, this weird HTML style thing. Right? But how you structure your application is none of my concern. For example, get set property can handle that. I don't think it does. I don't think it does. It doesn't return a signal. Or it doesn't emit a signal. Alright, what is test script, by the way? Test script. Oh, does test script not exist? Test script. Test script is give test. So we can pass in test script as the last one. Test script. So this will be DE. So this will be E. It's like give test. So we can give that a try. Oh, baby. Oh, and then not. There we go. Look at that. It's beautiful. We're missing a resource file somewhere, but that's whatever. Look at that. So now we're able to pass in just regular script classes from just random things. Or not the random things. It has to be one of these source files. I suppose I can make it so like GDML, you can register global classes as well. Yeah, I guess I would need to have an ability to register a global class as well. So before you even call like generate, you can pass in classes that can then be accessed from your UI. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And then here, whenever you call give test, we can have like var counter is equal to I, and then this is counter plus equals 1, something like that. So then that should work. So then this is another example of, I guess, like it's state mutability. Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't know why I'm starting to get a resource file like not found errors, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. Hold on. Accidentally quitted out to the wrong menu. Where is it called? Godot markup language. Give me a retry. Hopefully that was just like a one-time thing that happened. Okay, yeah. Yeah, one of the resource files got corrupted. That's fine. Look at that. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. And then this built-in script is just never called, which is cool. So if you want interior mutability, if you want to have states, then you either need to attach a class and have that class just do a thing. So test script. So test script has a counter, so whenever you call that callback, so test script, oh, hold on. How does that work? Wait, am I stupid? Wait, did I accidentally hardcode that? Did I accidentally hardcode that? Oh, on press. No, on press calls give test. Yes. So there we go. So you can absolutely create spaghetti. You can absolutely create spaghetti. So you have your test script here, which carries its own states inside of it. And then you can pass that class to this callback. OnPress takes the callback and then calls the mutator inside of test script, which mutates it. Oh. So that's how you can do it. That's how you can do it. That is so confusing. But yeah, I mean that's pretty sick though. The fact that it just works, I'm pretty into that. I was a little confused though, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little confused. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. I'm pretty sure the rest of the stuff will work too. The only other thing I'm kind of curious about is if I can change this to just be more of like a Godot format, but that's okay. You still not got it? What do you mean you still not got it? It's pretty straightforward, really. Like this is a class stored under name built-in script. Test script is loaded here in this orphan script. All right, so this test script refers to this test script, so it's loaded in and attached to this GDML. This script is an anonymous script, more or less. It's still attached to this GDML because it's inside that block. So you pass the test script to attach to node. Yeah, so I pass the test script instance, the entire instance, as one of the callback parameters. So this is built-in script. Oh, don't do that. So that's what this is. Right, so test script refers to this script up here. So I always just take the file name and use that to reference the script. And as a reminder, I ignore any other scripts like this. So this one's ignored. Or actually, it's not technically ignored. It's created and then overwritten. So if this was like a node, you would just have a floating node. And it would just become an orphan, but that's not my problem. But yeah, so I pass the class here. Then OnPress calls node script give test. Yeah, pretty much. Right here in this callback. So OnPressed, as you remember, we passed test script as the 5th parameter, and then we can call give test. This is test script here. Give test increments the counter and returns test counter, string formatted, and then increments the counter by 1. So that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Oh, like I actually have like a headache now after like thinking this hard. The value sits outside the scope. Not really. So everything is scoped to GDML, right? So I think the confusing part would be if this GDML scope was able to call this test script, because that's not in scope anymore. But the scope is scoped to this entire block. So all scripts know about everything inside of there. That's the same way kind of JavaScript works, except with JavaScript or HTML plus JavaScript, you can only ever have one global scope, whereas I don't have a global scope. You cannot have a floating script. Can you do e give test val? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I could, right? So you could do like I, and then just do it like that. Which define built-in. What do you mean define built-in? Oh, you mean pass this value, this test bar? Test var I, like that? I mean, of course that would work, right? I don't see why that would not work. Yeah, now you can see that it's increasing at an accelerated. I don't know if you can see it, but it is increasing at an accelerated rate. Yeah, I mean it is just like GD scripts. It is just regular GD scripts. So So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think the only hard part is that if you don't assign, I guess, like a source script, so this is actually still not implemented, but I think if you assign a source script to a node, then you can also have logic assigned to it as well. And that's how you can change like the node placement or change the node text or whatever. Right? And so I guess this one we need to handle source like this. Pass. So to do stub. Yeah, so if you have one of these, then I need to grab the class and then attach it to the elements. Yeah, that's gonna be for later. Anyways, thanks for actually hold on before I do the outro. Let's just push it. What is the diff? That's not bad. So git commits add ability for classes to be passed as params. As params. Yeah, there we go. So if you are interested, you can take a look here. You can poke at it. I mean, that should just work, I guess. Look at that. It doesn't really generate anything, I guess, but it does allow for you to define a UI at runtime, and it should be pretty trivial to be able to, I guess, to save the actual layouts, I guess. I think saving the actual logic will be a lot harder because there's a lot of weird stuff that's going on with how I'm parsing the scripts. But at least like being able to generate a layout with no scripts should be possible just with like an HTML style syntax. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for me for today. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be live tomorrow from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Give the channel a follow if you haven't already. Discord, GitHub. That's pretty much it. I'm tired. I feel like nesting is a must. Maybe. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I think it would be nice to have nesting, but I got to think about how I do nesting. I got to think about how I do the nesting. So there's a few ways I can do nesting. There's one, I could just make it so like GDML blocks don't immediately send me back down to depth level 0 in terms of parsing. But I think that requires some complex logic. I think I could make it so that you could load in like additional XML files. So if you want to nest GDML stuff, because every single GDML, all it does is just sets its own anchor points to full rects. So you could do like XML source and then point towards another file, something like that. And that's how you could do nesting. There's a few ways. I guess the elegant way is to allow for nesting GDML files, but we'll think about it. We'll think about it. This is already pretty good, I think. I don't think nesting is a must. It's just nice to have. You can just design around it because this is already pretty weird. Yeah. Anyways, goodbye.